For the final video in our series, let's talk about getting help. Of course, we can always get help from R and R Studio. We have a Help tab, and even if you go to the home screen on the Help tab, notice the help offerings that are here. Learning R Online, CRAN Task Views, Getting Help with R, R Studio IDE support, and so forth. There are manuals available, how to write R extensions, an introduction to R, and so forth. There is a lot to be gleaned right here on the home page of the Help tab. Furthermore, we can search for specific help, and sometimes just starting to put in the keywords can alert us to possible functions. If I put in ANOVA, notice everything that is listed here. I know about the ANOVA function, but look, there's an ANOVA GLM, ANOVA LM, and so forth. So just that little act can help you find items that you might not have known existed. And if I click on any one of these, such as ANOVA.LM, ANOVA for linear model fits, I can find out what that is about. I see up the top here that the function is ANOVA.LM, and this tells me what package the function's in. It's in the stats package, which happens to be, even though it is not the base package, it happens to be one of the packages that's installed and loaded along with base R. So it is considered part of what's available to you right when you start R for the first time. In addition to the help offered by R and R Studio, of course, then there's the web. We can do a web search. One place that you can go to start your search on the web is rseek.org. rseek basically does a typical type web search, except it restricts what you're doing to R. So for example, if I were to put in t-test, then all the results that come back are about t-test within R. So it's like doing a nice web search based upon only R-related materials. But then, of course, if we want to expand that search, we can do so just by looking at Google, Bing, or any of the other search options. If I go to Google, for example, now because I'm not restricting myself to R, I might always want to start my search with R. So r.t-test now will give me t-test results within R. For some items that we might search on, how to do ANOVA in R, we might actually get some nice videos if we click on the video option. And sure enough, here's a lot of material in videos demonstrating how to do something in R. So you're already familiar with using web searches for all sorts of opportunities. The key here is to make sure that R is included in your search. While you're in this class, you know that you have the Research Cafe for when you have questions about how to do something in R. But when you're out of the class, there's an option for Stack Overflow. In fact, if you look at the R Studio homepage for help, you'll notice R on Stack Overflow is one of the options here. What they're simply doing is they're looking for questions that are tagged in R. If I go to the Stack Overflow homepage, you can see how to get help within Stack Overflow. It is basically a place where people who develop in all sorts of languages, including R, help one another. They will require you to sign up, but it's free. And for me, it has been well worth it. You can get questions and answers publicly and without signing up. You can browse the questions and search for answers. And here I've isolated some results related to ANOVA in R. But you can also ask your own questions if you have a membership, which again is free. Now realize that when you deal with Stack Overflow, you're now dealing with humans. And just as there is substantial variability in human personality, there's going to be substantial variability in the types of responses you get, both in terms of expertise and in terms of human characteristics, such as how kind individuals will be. A common response, for example, is for some people to say, "Why don't you go read the manual?" In other words, why don't you do your homework before you come here? But quite frankly, in my experience, most people are very kind. The last time I used Stack Overflow, I had made a really silly mistake. I copied a snippet of my code, asked for help, and someone caught that rather embarrassing mistake I had made and answered me within 5 minutes of me posting, and answered it very kindly. So most of the time, it's a kind response. Just be aware that humans come in all shapes, sizes, flavors, and you're going to get different kinds of responses. With just these few options available to you, there's a world of information at your fingertips. I think most of you have already been doing web searches for R-related topics, and you know of the abundance of material that's out there. You might have to hunt a while in order to find something that's at your level of expertise, but it's worth taking the time to hunt. Remember, even when you have to struggle through the documentation or struggle through the instructions that someone's trying to provide, it's usually a productive struggle from which you will learn aspects about R and come away with conceptual understandings that you might not have even anticipated. Learning is a process, and seeking help is a great way to continue that process as you continue to develop your expertise in R.